Afternoon. Mr. Jose Ramirez, you're in custody on HDCF 674, People versus the State of Illinois versus Jose Guadalupe Ramirez. The people have filed a 2-count information against you, alleging in count 1 that Jose Guadalupe Ramirez committed the offense of murder, a Class M felony, in that he, without lawful justification and with the intent to kill Antonio Baran, stabbed Antonio Baran with a knife at 22918 North Monitor Road, Princeville, Illinois, thereby causing the death of Antonio Baran in violation of 720 ILCS 5/9-1A1. And in count 2, that Jose Guadalupe Ramirez committed the offense of murder, a Class M felony, in that he, without lawful justification and with the intent to kill Susan Brill, stabbed Susan Brill with the knife while at 22918 Monitor Road, Princeville, Illinois, thereby causing the death of Susan Brill in violation of 720 ILCS 5/9-1A1. Class M felonies are punishable by anything from 20 to 60 years in the Illinois Department of Corrections, 3 years mandatory supervised release. Probation is not available. If extended term eligible, that sentence could be 60 to 100 years with a maximum fine of up to $25,000. Mr. Ramirez, do you intend on hiring a private counsel, or are you seeking the appointment of a public defender?
I'm seeking the appointment of public defender.
Are you, based on your pre-services report, does indicate that you have a job? How much do you earn?
I earn $10 an hour.
Public defender will be appointed for today's purposes. Ms. Camp, probable cause.
Yes, Aaron, would like me to be sworn?
You solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes. The Peoria County Sheriff's Department was originally called to the address as listed in the informations on the report of a residential burglary. The suspect, or the defendant, was the person who originally reported it, seeing as how the victims are his parents, indicated that he had come to visit, noticed that the house had been ransacked and that there were blood stains, and that he checked to see that his parents' cars were still there and his parents' cars were still there. A review of the scene in daylight also indicated, in addition to the blood stains that were observed in the bedroom, on his father's vehicle, and in the front entryway, also showed that there were blood. If I didn't mention this, on the father's Honda, it also indicated, when reviewed in daylight, that there were tire impressions in the grass of the front yard that appeared to suggest that somebody had either pulled up to the front of the house or had backed up to the front of the house. At that point in time, the bodies there had been no bodies located. Eventually, at a house frequented by the defendant, TV that was apparently reported missing was recovered, and a key to a Honda CRV was recovered. The Sheriff's Department took the key to that CRV that was recovered from the house in the residence in Princeville to the Peoria County Jail, where Sheriff's Department personnel were able to use that key to both open and start the defendant's father's motor vehicle. Also recovered at that residence eventually were some credit cards belonging to the 2 named victims, his parents. At least 2 different witnesses that spoke to the police even before the defendant was taken into custody indicated that the defendant had spoken of killing his parents multiple times in the past with them and another gentleman. They were eventually able to bring him in for a formal interview. He finally eventually told the detectives that he was essentially tired of dealing with his parents, waited till they were asleep and went into the bedroom with a knife, sprayed some pepper spray to distract them, stabbed his dad in the stomach, and then stabbed his dad in the neck. His mom got out of bed, and he also stabbed her in the stomach and the neck. He did give a second version when they talked to him earlier today, where he indicated that he had struck each of them with a baseball bat. He indicated that he wrapped one of his parents in a tarp and one of them in a tent, and then loaded him into his dad's Honda. The blood evidence at the scene in the front entryway and the rear of the CRV and the tracks in the grass outside the front of the residence would provide physical evidence, would suggest that the physical evidence is consistent with that particular version. He indicated he also disposed of the bedding, because he had removed all the bedding from the bed in which they had been sleeping in, had disposed of those in a dumpster in the Princeville area. By the time the sheriff's department was aware of this, the dumpsters had already been picked up and had been taken to the landfill. I don't know if they're ever going to be able, even with dogs, to be able to recover those. During the second version of his story, he did indicate that a second person was with him. We are still developing that angle and may address that at a later date.
Court finds the probable cause exists, sent for recommendations is the bond.
Your Honor, we would recommend a $3 million, 10% bond.
Judge, obviously there isn't a criminal history noted in the pretrial services report. Obviously, he also indicates that he has absolutely zero ability to post bond, so I think anything that's set is going to secure his incarceration at this point. I would obviously leave bond at the discretion of the court, but would ask it to be set in a lower amount than $3 million.
Based on the recitation of facts and the nature of the offense, bond would be set at $3 million as requested by the state. Date for preliminary hearing.
Preliminary hearing would be November 29th in courtroom 222 at 1:30, Your Honor.
Mr. Ramirez, your next court date will be,
November 29th.
November 29th. You'll be brought over for that court hearing. Anything else?
Trial and abstention rights.
Mr. Ramirez, if you should fail to appear for any trial scheduled on this matter, you could be tried in your absence. Anything else? Sure. Anything?
No, sir.
That's all.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good day.
Thank you.